Girl Talk. Are you ready? I'm super excited because today I get to share my podcast with my best friends. It's amazing. I do have some other good friends on the back that don't want to be in camera, but I'm super excited. I'm super happy because we are going to be talking about, like I said, girl talk, but not only that, about challenges, about
Oh, I get to be the lucky first one.
yes.
Well, everybody, thank you, Rosie, my hostess and my best friend. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm very honored to be amongst really powerful business owners, not only women, but mothers and really good friends. I'm Monica, and I've been in the real estate industry for about 22 years now. I really just fell into it because my parents were looking to buy and there wasn't a lot of Latino representation back then. So I said, rolled up my sleeves and let's do it, Mom, Dad. So that was 22 years ago, and I fell in love with the industry, and I've been doing it ever since. And it's really grown into also contracting and doing staging, decorating, landscaping. So it's really multifaceted and super dynamic, and I'm just proud to have girlfriends that really just complement that business, and I can always lean to Rosie for her expertise or Gina for hers. So yeah, it's really a community here.
Love it.
I'm Veronica.
I'm serious.
Kind of a jack of all trades, if you will.
Yes, you are.
But mainly I've been in the insurance business for over 20 years. I have an office that has several different types of services, but mainly insurance. And over the years, you could say that I've kind of ventured into different things.
Amen.
Just because that's life, and today you're doing one thing and the next day it could be something different. But I always knew from a very young age that I was going to be an entrepreneur because I just had that in me. I was actually selling candy in school, in grammar school, when I was like 10 or 11 years old, and I had more money in my pocket than the adults that I knew. So it was an awakening and something that just came naturally to me. And over the years, things have evolved, and now I'm in the restaurant business, which has been another challenge that has been interesting, but I enjoy it. It came at a good time in my life where I needed to focus on something different. But for the most part, I think being self-employed is not for everyone. I think it requires for you to be very brave,
disciplined,
and not knowing, and what am I going to make next month?
Yeah. Right.
But in that regard, it's not for everyone. You have to have that soul that like, I don't care, I'm going to make it. And yeah, maybe this was a bad month, but next month I'm going to kill it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Right. So for me, I mean, I'm very happy and privileged to be here with my bestie Rosie and these lovely ladies, because I don't have much time, and the time that I do have, I like to enjoy it or share it with people that bring something positive to my life, and that's what everybody here does.
Yes. My name is Jina. I own Silicon Valley Credit Repair. I started off in the real estate industry 18, 19 years ago. From there, I fell in love with credit repair. I fell in love with the people around me. I was fascinated by people that needed help but couldn't get the help, right? So my journey and my privilege was to serve them and to get in there and help them in the way that they needed the help, and it's been a beautiful thing. It's been a blessing for sure to be of service to others. So primarily I do credit repair. That's my passion. That's my love in life on the work side. And I really, really enjoy what I do. So to help families go from maybe not believing in themselves to just putting a plan in place for them and saying, hey, we can do it. We have to check these boxes off first. And then from there, you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. So it's been, for me, it's just been everything.
I love it.
To help people evolve, So that's what I do. I do credit repair, but it's so much more than that because we build relationships.
Exactly.
And
talking about relationships, see, the beauty of not only our friendship is the fact that we actually do collab with each other.
100%.
You know, she's a broker. She's an insurance agent. She also owns a restaurant, credit repair, but she's also a real estate agent. You know, I'm a real estate agent, but I'm also a loan officer, and we're always like some way how working together. And I feel like that's the beauty of everything. I mean, when you're able to not only work with the people you admire, they're your best friends, but also the fact that you feel comfortable referring people. Why? Because you know they're going to be taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that's amazing.
Like the countless deals we've done.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. But not only we work really hard, but also we're mothers.
Yeah, a lot of balance.
Right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Monica, tell us, how do you balance? Like, I know you have so many projects, but you also have your kids in college and you want to spend time with them. You have a boyfriend. It's like, how do you balance that?
No, it's definitely a balancing act. And honestly, I don't do it by myself. You know, I don't have to give credit to my parents, to my ex-husband, to my partner. And I think women, especially us entrepreneurial women, we really need to rely on our circle, our friends. And so I can't take all the credit. And I think a smart businesswoman or any woman that really wants to just be independent and be a businesswoman, you really have to rely on a team. You can't do it by yourself. And I think that's the first lesson you need to learn, is that you need to rely on people. And it's kind of like, it's almost like a contradiction, because we're all independent and we're not used to relying on people, but you're forced to, you have to, for the sake of your children, and you just have to.
You just want to do it all, but then you realize, God, not only you have to delegate responsibilities, but also you need to trust people to help you.
It's the village.
It's a village.
It's the village for sure. I pray. I pray about it for sure. I pray about it. I ask for help. I ask him to guide me for sure.
Your lady, which I love, that helps you in your house a lot.
Mariquita.
Mariquita runs your house.
Cheers, Mariquita.
Yes, amen to that. I will cheers to that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I need me some Mariquita.
And I think a lot of ladies need to learn this sooner rather than later, is like, you can't do it all. And it's not like a defeat. It's not, you're not losing if you ask for help. And, you know, because I think, like, especially us Latina women, that we're not raised like the men. You know, we're not up on a pedestal. We have to cook and clean and play all these roles as mothers. And we were not raised to ask for help. If you asked for help, it was a sign of weakness.
That's right.
You know, and
you need to serve, you need to do.
And you need to look good while doing it too. So it's challenging. And I think to anyone out there, you know, listening to your podcast today, I think, you know, really need, if there's take one thing home, is like, you need to ask for help. You know? And
I mean, ask for help, but pay your dues along the way, right? Like Maria, she's been with us for over 10 years. She does everything from top to bottom. You know, I mean,
she's earned that trust.
100%. Oh yeah. And that's really
a family member now.
Oh yeah. That's relationship building over the years. You know, she knows your habits. She understands what the need is, and she gets in there and she executes.
And you're so blessed to find someone outside of your families, outside that someone that's not
right.
That's huge.
Oh yeah.
That's huge.
Oh yeah. It is. It's a big deal.
It is.
Because at the very least, I know that, you know, when I leave here today, I don't have to worry that my kids aren't fed, or that, you know, there's something out of
You know what? I'm super blessed that I kind of have the same thing with my mom. When she comes over, like, she literally, Mom,
she takes over.
And she goes really well. La verdad, no. Our moms are, no la mía cuando llegue.
We have that in common.
Me and Vero have the same thing in common. Like, when nuestras mamás vienen en México, y lo estoy diciendo en español para que lo entienda cuando lo vea. Like, cuando llega a la casa, literalmente toma posesión de la cocina. Es más, yo ni sé dónde está la salt and pepper. She does her own setup, you know. Right. She takes over. And don't touch.
No, you're very blessed.
And honestly, talking about that, I don't think I have shared this with anybody before, but actually my mom and my sister Monica, thank you, Monica, mi hermana Mónica, literalmente ellas, pues cuidaron a mis hijos desde que nacieron.
The village.
Yes. Like, yo la verdad es que yo creo que Obviamente nací para ser madre y tomo mucho orgullo de esto, pero la verdad es de que siempre he sido una mujer muy independiente y muy trabajadora. Por consecuencia, yo respeto y admiro a las mujeres que se quedan en su casa y dicen, all I want to do is be a mom y cuidar y limpiar la casa. Mil respetos, porque yo creo que yo no puedo. That's just not me.
Yeah.
But I do respect that, nothing wrong with that. Pero yo me volvería loca al punto que mi mamá y mi hermana pues me cuidaban a mis hijos mientras yo trabajaba. En ese tiempo I was a manager for Wells Fargo. And I will work, come back. Even Wells Fargo offered me. And remember, te podemos dar 6 meses más. You can stay in your house because as many as you know, my 2 set of twins, they're only 14 months apart. So
4 kids in diapers.
Mm-hmm. And then they're like, si te quieres quedar like an additional 6 months, you can do so. I was like, no.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go. And thanks to my mom and my sister, I was able to go back to work and just be me, come back, and then obviamente te quitas los tacones, te quitas el traje, and then you're a mom. Te pones el ponytail, and you clean, you provide, you feed your kids, you cook, you spend time with them, you do homework with them, and then dejas ese saco. Pero luego cuando yo me salía de mi casa, me ponía el otro.
Preserving your identity as a woman, as a human being, as a businesswoman, as someone who's like, going out there and handling it. No, I get it. And sometimes we lose
too,
that.
Right? Because you want to contribute, you want to help people.
As a provider.
That satisfaction of knowing you're out there helping.
As a provider.
Right, as a provider, you know?
Yeah. I wanted to add something to what Rosie said as far as some of us are very lucky to have our mothers.
Yeah.
That even though we're not babies anymore, we have our own families. They never stop being a mother. For me, it's a blessing, and I miss my mother when she's gone. She comes home and she takes over the kitchen. I'm like, is there anything else you want to do? By all means, Yeah. And she takes over, and that's the way the dynamic of my household
I love that.
has worked for many years.
Yeah.
And going back to what you mentioned as far as asking for help, I have to tell you that for me, personally, that has been a huge challenge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, I think every individual...
You were like, I can do it all.
Yeah. And every individual in a family, for whatever reason, and because the circumstances are what they are, or like I said, the dynamic of every family, I was kind of placed in that one position, like, if anything goes wrong, ask Veronica.
Yeah.
If you need help, ask Veronica. Oh, our parents are needing this. Okay, well, there's Veronica. Well, guess what? Veronica, from a very young age, matured.
Yeah.
And I became that person in the family that if somebody needed something, I'm the go-to one.
Yeah,
I'm the go-to 100%, person in my family.
Same.
And so I became that person.
Yeah.
And even when I was married, it was very difficult for me to ask for help. And on top of that, I was in a situation where, unfortunately, some men or dads or husbands don't realize, hey, you know what? This is my child too.
Yeah.
I don't need her to ask me to say, hey, you know what? Take him, feed him, bathe him.
Right.
And so I became very, I'm not sure what the right word is for that type of circumstance, but very used to not asking for help. And recently, through the many stages of life that I've gone through and blessings of people that I've met along the way, I had one person say, hey, you know what? Stop. Learn how to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because guess what? There's people out there that want to help you, but you're gung-ho. I can do this. I don't need you. You do need people.
You need to learn to be vulnerable.
The problem for me is that I'm very
proud.
I'm very proud.
Yeah.
For me, asking for help is a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
Which is something that I have not been given the opportunity to have in my life.
Yes.
And recently, for the first time in my life, and I'm happy to say this on this podcast, I reached out and said, hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
I love it. The words were like, what?
Yes.
You're asking me to help you?
That's a huge,
I'm loving it.
It's a huge,
like that. I'm loving the fact that you asked me to help you. Tú dices, brinca, yo salto rana, mamacita, lo hago.
No,
but what I'm saying is it felt, at first it was like a weird feeling for me, like, oh my God, I'm going to call and ask for help.
Yes.
But when I did it, and I saw that this person showed up for me, it was like a freaking orgasm.
I love it.
I loved every moment of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
And now it's taking me in stages, like baby steps. But I know that I need to start incorporating that in my life in general.
And you know what? It's you are so on point. It's one of those things, like the smallest things. You know, we don't reach out, we don't ask, we don't want to ask, right? But I'll tell you, the smallest gesture, Lexi, she had my daughter. Yeah. She had her
daughter's Lexi too.
Oh, really? Okay. So she had her cheer fundraiser. And I blasted it out to my friends. And you know, I don't ask. I'm the mom that will just take care of it and it's done.
I'll buy everything you're selling.
Right?
I know, I did that many times.
You know, I've done that, you know?
Me too.
So, I mean, old habits sometimes die hard, right? But
because you're so busy, let's get it over with. How much is it? Yeah, boom, done.
But I'll tell you that it was so beautiful.
Because people show up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I cannot believe like the outpour where you're just, it was popcorn for $20.
But let me tell you this. You didn't send that message to just anybody. You send that message to the women in your circle that you know that take care of business.
100%. I mean,
right?
Yes. But to add to that, like I had my friends who were like, hey, sent me Zelle without even sending me the order, you know, $200, $300.
I don't need the popcorn.
You know,
here's a support.
Another friend said to me, hey, donate it to whoever. I mean, and they were sending me hundreds of dollars. Yeah. And I thought to myself, gosh, like, wow. Yeah. You know, just that support, that love.
No, let me tell you, but that's who you are.
Yeah.
That's who you are because every time I reach out to you and I'm like, oh, we're always working on a new project. Which you guys are like, okay, ahora en qué se metió esta? You know, you're always like, ¿qué ocupas? What do you need? You know, I need an sponsor. How much? Mm-hmm. ¿Dónde vamos? ¿A quién matamos? You know, it's like.
That's true. That's true.
So
you're that person.
Yes.
I've reached out to you a few times for other people, not for myself. And she's like, ¿de qué se trata?
Yeah.
Ahí te va. She's not asking.
So, sí, acuérdate que lo que sembramos.
You're selfless.
¿Cómo es cosechamos, sembramos o sembramos?
You're selfless.
You are.
Yeah,
really. So that's what you're getting back.
But it's one thing to do, and then it's another thing because we're too busy, you know, navigating through life, right? It's another thing for people to show up for you.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yes.
I mean, a $20 popcorn order, believe it or not, for me, I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, like for these people, it was just, I think for me, it was just more touching. It was one of those things where I just thought, wow, like some of these people, even clients, they don't even know my kid, you know, and here they are like just exaggerating an order, you know, and friends like you guys, it was just quick.
We don't need to know your daughter. We know you.
Right. And I just thought, that's such a beautiful, comforting thing where the cause is supported, even as small as that, because for us, we're so busy. Like I said, like just doing and trying to figure it out and trying to, you know, navigate through whatever we have to navigate through. And something as small as a gesture that ends up being so big, at least here, that was a big deal for me.
It is a big deal. And let me tell you, and she won, by the way.
Yeah. She got all the sales, all of it.
Love it. I was listening to a podcast actually about what Vero was saying about like doing it all and, you know, just being, I guess, the head of hassle and the superwoman.
Yeah.
Pero ¿sabes qué? That comes with the fact that, and I'm going to touch this topic, which is, whoever doesn't want to comment on it, I'm 100% okay with that. But the fact that you have to develop tu parte más masculina por fuerza. No by choice.
Yeah. Right.
Pero tenías que sacar adelante la familia.
100%.
Tenías que sacar adelante todo lo que tenías. Cualquier proyecto, situación que tenías. Fuiste esforzada a hacer la parte 100% masculina. Y si estabas con una persona que
que la verdad, o sea, como que no, pues entonces, ¿qué pasa? You're forced
That's right.
to be that person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and like me, en el tiempo de mi vida, y por eso este podcast is very special to me, and it touched, honestly, I always say touch my heart, pero todo toca mi corazón en diferentes partes because somos lo que somos, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I honestly feel like sometimes us women, we are forced to develop ciertas partes de nuestra personalidad stronger than others. Why? Because we are in our survival mood, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You know, entonces,
Oh, yeah.
¿qué pasa? Tu parte masculina se desarrolla un poco más y la parte femenina la pones a descansar un poco.
Yeah.
Why? Porque tienes que salir al frente, al
Yeah.
toro, right? You have to do
Well,
it.
I think we've all believed that there's a knight in shining armor that's going to save us,
Yeah.
but we have to save ourselves. Honestly.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one's going to show up for us.
No one.
You know,
And
we
they
have
may
to
or
show
they
up
may
for
not,
ourselves.
But are you going to wait? Are you going
Right.
to gamble that on your kids' happiness, on your
No.
Oh my
future?
God, I love
No,
it.
and there's women that do and it works out, and there's women that don't and it doesn't.
Yeah.
But at least you're going to take control and you're going to grab the reins
Yes.
and take
Yeah.
control of your future.
100%.
And I think the takeaway from this is when you're faced with those do or die situations, what are you going to do? And we're all four women that
Yes.
stepped up.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because we were all forced to grow up quick. I don't know why
Yeah.
we have that common thread.
You know,
in us.
para comenzar, tú eres la única mujer
Yeah,
de tu familia.
Yeah.
You know, they're all men.
all men.
So era como, you gotta be strong, right?
If I wanted to be heard, yeah.
Right.
Because, growing up in my family, the men are the ones that got fed first.
Mhm.
And they're the ones
Mhm.
that role. And we were just there to serve them. So,
Pero es que en mi
yeah.
familia también. Like,
Yeah.
and I adore my mother, pero she didn't know any
It
better,
doesn't,
right?
it's just
Right.
like,
It's the culture.
yeah,
But
it's
you
the
know what,
culture.
me? I have to say something on these podcasts just to get it out of my system.
Oh, Vero.
Échale.
There's no more.
I promise you.
Let's be
Bartender?
I don't think I have.
bartender.
No, here.
Melissa, help!
No
Where's
creo.
the production
No
crew?
creo, right? No creo que he
No, there's
platicado
somebody here.
del hecho de que, well, tengo 2 hermanas y 5 hermanos. So we're 8 total, right? So it was 3 girls, 5
Mhm.
boys. And then mi mamá nos ponía a planchar las camisas de todos los hermanos y los pantalones. Like everything.
Yeah.
Había días que para poder salir a echar pegue, that's how they call it in
Mhm.
Mexico.
They call it here too.
Echar
Yeah,
pegue.
really? Yeah. Okay, ¿quieres salir a ver a tu novio?
¿Quieres ir a la plaza?
¿Quieres ir a la plaza? Vas a planchar 50
Yeah.
camisas.
Ay, no manches.
No, I did. I did
Sí, sí te
50
creo,
camisas
sí te
y
creo.
50 pantalones, I promise you.
Yeah.
Mom, comment
Tell me if I'm.
You know what, though?
like,
Thank your mother for that.
yes.
Thank her for that. That is something you're going to carry with you.
Oh, and I love
You know
it.
what I mean?
Yes.
That is
De
just...
hecho, Vero siempre me da carrilla
Sí.
porque dice que yo soy bien cariñosa and I like to serve. Like
She likes to
Yeah.
serve.
I don't know, cuando tengo
To take care of
cuando
people.
tengo
It's
una
true.
pareja,
The chilaquiles.
yeah.
Right?
No, I like to cook
Pero
for my
es diferente
friends.
cuando lo hace para las amigas. Yo le digo, ella ya sabe por qué le digo. Creo yo.
No, cuando tengo
perdón
una
que te
pareja,
interrumpa,
los chiqueo,
sí,
¿verdad?
sí, amiga. Pero perdón que interrumpe, pero yo te voy a decir una cosa. Yo digo, está bien. Cater to them. If they deserve it.
It's beautiful.
I love it.
If they deserve
But
it,
you know
yo
what,
le
Vero?
beso hasta los pies.
That's her
Pero
personality.
if they
Oh,
deserve
that is
it.
her
if they
personality.
deserve it,
No, it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like
okay
Vero
with that.
too.
I'm okay with that.
I
But
am
if they
Vero,
deserve it,
and I
if they,
think, yeah.
si ellos trajeron su parte a la mesa y,
Yeah.
and you know what, este hombre es un
Yeah.
hombre,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
hombrecillo.
Ay, I love it.
And that being said,
Yeah.
but that's you. You're a teddy
Yep.
bear. No, you're a gummy bear, como te dijo Alex el otro día.
Aw.
Dice, Rosie's a gummy bear, but that she doesn't force that. That's who
It's
she
her
is.
natural.
You know
Yeah.
what? Everybody
who she
thinks
is.
que como que soy bien fuerte.
But you
Right.
are.
But no,
You are. But you know what?
But going back to what she said, she
But it's all about balance.
She has-
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So you also check the other boxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm a complete package.
Right.
Well, I'm going to share this with you guys because viene al caso de lo que
She's
acaba de hablar
single.
Rosy. Viene al caso. Viene al caso. Los papás de Rosy y los míos son del mismo lugar, de
Yeah.
México, right? And it's funny because that being said, there's only girls in my family. And my father always said, no, you're going to go to school. No quiero saber, aunque sea de panadera, but you have to have a career. Why? Porque no quiero que dependas de ningún hombre.
Yeah.
And in my house, nobody ever taught me to serve anybody.
Well, you don't have anyone to serve?
No. Even though I could have served my father.
Who served your father?
What is
My mother.
All right, that was her job. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you only had one
my
guy.
dad was not. No.
How many men did you have in your house?
My dad.
I have 3.
It's funny you should mention that because my father's from Mexico. He was born and raised in
bien
Mexico.
mexicano, tradicional.
Bien mexicano. Pero ella lo conoce.
Yeah.
Mi papá es un hombre. Es más, mi papá es un chingón.
Yeah.
Mi papá es un
And
hombre.
and you're like,
Es un
mine too.
hombre que jamás
Yeah.
dijo, ok, yo tengo puras mujeres, pero a estas mujeres las voy a hacer fuertes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's no such thing que, ay, que porque es el hombre, no. A mí me vale madre que es el padre, el hombre, whatever. But my dad raised us in a way that si es un hombre que lo merece, haz lo que tengas que hacer.
Yeah.
Pero si no lo merece,
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, he's very protective of his daughters.
right. But what I'm trying to tell you is that
Yeah.
even though people assume this because of culture, pero lo que tú creas, I was not raised that way. And so I've told my dad many times, Dad, these are the monsters you created.
And then
You always told me, no, you don't take, nobody puts
a ti
conditions.
te enseñaron,
You put the conditions.
tu papá era así como que tu cultura de tus padres te enseñaron a servir, a no.
Yeah.
Habla,
Yeah.
tell us.
You know what? My dad was from Mexico, from Jalisco, right?
Puro jaliscienses aquí.
Arriba
Puro
Jalisco.
Jalisco, pura chulada.
Salud, Jaliscienses.
Salud.
Yes.
I drink to that,
Fun.
Yes.
right?
Mariachi.
Ahí está. So my dad's from Jalisco, but my mom's from here, right? So
It's
so
a
I
balance, like,
so I had the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
My mom was very nurturing, you know, she was very loving. Planchaba siempre hasta los calzones de mi papá. Like the
wow.
sheets. No,
That's
really. No, really. I mean, she loved order, you know? But I'll tell you that, like, my dad, we come from a larger family. My
Larger than
parents,
Rossi's? I don't know.
well, no, not quite. Well, I mean, my dad's parents, they had 21 children. You know?
Oh my God.
Yeah, 21
Winner,
children.
You got me, friend.
I mean,
¿Quién tiene 21? De tu
my
mamá.
grandparents, my dad's on my dad's side.
Your uncles. You have 21
O sea,
uncles.
you
and
have
aunts?
21 uncles?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I
uncles and
haven't
aunts.
I haven't counted like
Well,
aunts versus
If your
uncles, but
grandparents have,
O sea,
yeah.
tu abuelita tuvo 21 hijos.
yes.
So you have
Oh,
20, you have
my
21
God.
aunts
Yes.
and uncles.
I mean, back
dad
in the
had
day,
18.
right? So, I mean,
Nine
you know,
men
12.
and 9 women.
traditional Catholic families,
Yes.
like that's kind of
No,
what it
that's
was,
so true.
right? You know,
Mamá
back in the
tuvo-
day.
Wow.
Del lado de mi mamá creo que son 12 y del lado de mi papá son 12. So yeah, but
Big families.
with one.
Well, ours are
That's-
really
that's-
Yeah,
small.
and
Ours
she
are
was
eight.
like the cutest little petitest woman, you know?
My grandma too.
But yeah, so but I'll tell you, I had kind of that Mexican American kind of upbringing, you know.
Balance, like it
You know,
wasn't
oh
too-
yeah, no, my mom, she was just she did her best. She did her best. And my dad, he was there. I mean, I think, you know, later on in my life, I really, really became a lot closer to my dad. I understood a lot of his roots. You know, for example, in 2015, I went to Mexico for the first time in my life. It's, well, aside from like Cancun and all the, you know,
you
hype
went to
type
the
of
real
spots,
Mexico.
I went
Al
to,
rancho, al pueblo.
yes, I went to El Rancho. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that changed my perspective.
A ver.
That changed my life in the most beautiful way. And in the saddest, most profound, most like feeling of all of it. So I remember back in the day, I bought this beautiful home, and, you know, it was just one of those homes that was just very well put together. Everything was in its place, you know. My yard was beautiful. And I remember coming home one time, and I hadn't been in the backyard forever because back in the day, I was in real estate, and you know how it is. You're going and you're door knocking and you're, you know, trying to figure it out. And, you know, it was just years ago. My point is that I remember going into the backyard. My dad was back there, and there was corn planted everywhere in my yard that supuestamente was so perfectly put in place. and the corn was like sky high already. And I hadn't gone back there forever. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's corn back there. Like, what? You know, I didn't understand. I'll tell you when I went to Mexico.
You connected the dots. So.
I understood. There was a little store, like the size of this section of this room, where you can buy one huevo, one pedacito de panecito, you know,
one toilet roll
to get you through the day, you know, and I understood why, you know, my dad felt that need to plant that, to make sure, because that was in his nature, because that was part of his upbringing, you know.
Oh my God, now you're making me.
No, you know.
That's why my mom comes y planta todo cuando van a caminar, corta una y luego me la planta.
Right, because that was the way. That was the way. That was what needed to be done to get ahead, to be okay.
Why did you save this much food? Why can't you just throw it away?
No.
Our parents will not throw anything away. Why? Because they were raised differently than we were.
Not only were they raised differently, but they didn't. But they didn't have enough.
No, there's no way.
You know,
my parents
they didn't have enough.
Very modest and poor. They're not going to throw anything away.
Of course not.
Yo me enojo porque vamos a decir, aguardo así. Así. And I'm like,
no.
Or let's give it to the dogs or whatever. And my mom is like,
no.
Si hay un frasco de yogurt, lo vas a usar para otra cosa.
That's such
You're not going to waste.
Remember?
Yes.
We were saying that. Like,
I gave up on that. I
was telling Vero like that, like, Vero, llegué a mi casa y había puros botes así que guarda mi mami, and I was like, pero tu mom does it? Oh, si no manches, así, todo. I'm like,
but you know what?
Yeah, the little mole jars, we used to drink out of those.
I put this in perspective, you know.
El mole de Doña María.
Cheers.
I thought this.
Why would you throw it away?
Yeah, she's keeping the stuff, but you guess what? We were very different, right? Because we were raised in different eras. We were raised in different countries.
Yeah.
But at the end, when she's not here, I miss her so much.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I miss her.
We're having a Mother's Day podcast.
No, well, you know what? It's just the fact that
you know, right now, I'm sorry, but something caught my eye, and I'm kind of going to switch the topic. But
because we could talk about this.
¿Ya te vi un tatuaje ahí en la pierna?
That what?
The tattoo.
The tattoo. I never knew you had a tattoo.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not a tattoo person. I never thought.
That's so cute.
But you know what? I was young. I remember, you know, it was just one of those kind of like
on a whim.
Absolutely on a whim.
A lot of women.
Right. It was that like kind of era, like everybody was doing like the koi fish type thing. And I'm not a superstitious person or anything like that.
But you thought it was cute.
I thought it was cute. Yeah. I did the fish with the bright red lips, and it wasn't my thing. It's not my thing now, but at the time, I thought it was this bright idea. I think that was, you know, a crazy thing that I did back then, but hey, it's here. I'm here for it. And,
we all have our moments.
Yeah, I mean, so.
I love it. I think it looks cute on you.
I'm actually going to get it removed just because, you know, it doesn't match kind of where I'm at now. Mm-hmm. And then, as I said, it was just one of those kind of like, I didn't think it through, you know, so.
I honestly love tattoos. I'm going to say that. And I love that one. I do have one that I might get removed. No, not removed. I'm going to get retouched, I guess.
Okay.
Changed up.
Change up. But I do have one right here that I love.
That's nice.
If the camera can see it. And I love it because I got this done probably like 6 months ago. And it's a cross, you know, with the balance. And then in communion right here. Mm-hmm. So this represents me right now. Like, I honestly I'm trying very, very hard, you know, to obviously be in communion with God, but also balance my life around Him on every way, you know, and He's the center of my life right now and forever. And He was siempre era. Pero de repente you go through stages on your life where changes, and that's why I understand when you say, you know what, right now at this point in my life, I don't want it. Yet I'm going to get another one, a tiny one. The other day I was talking to my son Ernesto. And my kids, to be honest with you, they're like, son mis porristas más grandes que yo tengo. You know, they admire me, they love me, and vice versa. I admire them so much. But I feel like as we grow, and especially if you are I don't know, si fuiste un padre muy joven, like I was, you know, too, you know, de repente you learn from your kids so much.
Well, you grow with them. You evolve with them.
You evolve with them.
You have all those teachable moments,
yes, like,
right?
100%. Like, I call my daughter Dulce for everything. You know, my oldest, my twin boys, literally, they're like, son mi piso. And my twin girls, son mis ángeles. Like, ellas, they protect me. And Vero, you're around us all the time.
You have really good kids.
Yes, she does.
So much. It's crazy.
Kids. Oh, yeah.
I was remembering actually about a week ago on Mother's Day, me and my kids went to church. Right after church, we went and got some ice cream. And then my son was talking to me, Ernesto, and he's very, both of my boys are very smart. But Ernesto, he's very, como papal.
He's very vocal.
Y le gusta cuidar, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then he was asking me about my dating life.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, Mom, don't forget that you're the prize.
That's right.
That's deep.
That's right.
I love it.
Deep,
Ernesto.
right?
Yeah,
exactly. My son,
He's going to be a good husband.
he is like,
He's
Mom,
a sweetheart.
You are the prize, friend.
Mom, don't forget that you are the prize.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly,
I am.
And I am. And in honor of my son, I am actually going to do a little tattoo over here. I was going to say, I am the prize.
That's right. Okay.
Yes. And I respect people that don't like tattoos, you know. But
And you know what? And listen, here's my preference. My preference on my body is not to have tattoos. Like, as I said, that's a regret for me personally on my body, but other people have tattoos. I mean, some are really beautiful. Some aren't as tasteful, you know, but that's not my choice. Yeah. That's not my path. That's for them to decide what they're going to do and how they're going to lead their life. And,
like,
you know, right. And it's not to say that their tattoos are good or bad or indifferent. It's just not something that I choose to do, at least today moving forward, on my body, right?
Should you make lifelong commitments for tattoos at what age? Like, how old were you?
Oh, this is a huge regret. I mean, I'm not a tattoo person.
But okay, like, so what advice would you give, like Rosie's podcasters? Like, at what point in your life should you commit to a tattoo?
Well, for me personally, I wouldn't get tattoos, but that's just my preference.
How old are you?
I was like 21.
Oh,
okay. You know,
baby. Yeah.
No, honestly, me, I wouldn't.
First tattoo,
a month after my divorce.
Okay.
It was my ex-husband. He's an amazing person. I have a lot of respect for him, but he never liked tattoos. And I always wanted to get one. Like, don't. Your body is precious. Don't touch it. And I respect. But then as soon as no estábamos juntos, I was like, okay, now I'm going to be me.
And be true to yourself.
And I'm going to be true to myself and the things I like. And I do respect the fact that you don't like tattoos. I mean, there's people that like.
Well, not for me.
No, not for you. That you might date a guy with tattoos.
Well, she's married.
No, that's okay. I mean,
that's sexy, right?
No, I am married, but no.
That would be cool, but anyway.
No. I guess the message that I'm trying to deliver is that not everybody it's up to tattoos. You know, like no les gustan o no es tu onda, lo que sea.
Right.
Honestly, I do like tattoos. I know Vero has a secret one. And I'm going to talk about that. So, Vero, tell us about your tattoo.
Well, let me tell you. I'm not the black sheep of my family.
Okay.
And tattoos are zero tolerance in my family.
For the most part, for like.
So you're the black sheep or you're not?
I'm not.
Oh, got it.
I'm not. So, in fact, I'll have to say this. I'm the only person in my immediate family that has a tattoo. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would ever get a tattoo because I don't like them. But I've become, I'm not going to say I've changed my mind a little bit about that because I guess everybody has their story, right?
Yeah.
So in a very down, in a part of my life where I needed to be reminded of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to be reminded. I'm like, man, I'm going to do something that everybody that knows me on a very intimate level is going to say, what the hell? And I went in and got a tattoo at the same time that my son did. And he's like, Mom, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. What do you want to get? I want that tattoo from the Lion King of remember who you are. I got that bitch right back here.
Yeah, it's very personal.
It's very personal. And every time I feel like I need to be reminded of what I bring to the table, I look at that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you bring a lot to the table.
You bring so
much to the table.
And you know what? To be honest with you,
I'm going to drink.
And I'm good with it now.
I love it.
But honestly, guys, before I close, I feel like our conversations, honestly, in the name of the podcast is Girl Talk. I feel like we really, honestly, we were just us, just being girls.
Yeah.
You know, pero si queremos dejar un mensaje a cualquier mujer o a los hombres que están viendo esto para que cambien su perspectiva, ¿qué podrías decir?
So for me, I feel like we need to humble ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Humble ourselves enough so that we can be okay in the sense where we can learn and we can be okay with understanding our mistakes, our vulnerabilities, and decide from there, okay, I want to grow. You know, I aspire to be this person, right? I aspire to take responsibility. I aspire to be a better person and just do what I have to do on a daily basis and to give ourselves some grace, you know, because life is not always easy.
Of course
not. You know, there's these curveballs that are sent our way. Sometimes we make choices and they're not easy ones, right? But sometimes those choices have to be made in order for us to be okay, in order for us to evolve as human beings, right?
I feel like that's the beauty of it. I mean, just to be better every day. How about you, Vero?
I would tell you one thing. I would say, in general, no pidas lo que no das.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
Si tú das mucho, espera mucho. And if that person that you're with or that special someone does not bring that to you, there's always somebody out there that is willing to do it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So, unfortunately, sometimes life happens and our life, everything around us evolves. Our business, our children, our businesses, our personal life. Mm-hmm. And you forget everything that you bring to the table. So the reality is, okay, if I bring this much to the table, then you bring this much to the table. And then we can talk. I think sometimes we settle for less.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's not because you think you're better than someone else, but everybody knows how much they're worth and what they bring to that situation, to that relationship. And if your bar is up here, maybe that one guy, that one sweet guy is not up here, but he's down here. But he realizes that he does have to get up there someday. Entonces sí, papacito, vente. Estoy lista, mi chulo. O sea, you know? I don't expect you to be up here, but tell me that you expect to be up there.
You're worth it.
And then we can talk. Show me. Es más, las palabras se les llama el viento.
Action.
Show me your actions.
For that.
And I will believe you.
Are better than words.
Actions are better than words. So for all those chicks out there, ni madres de lo que digan crean. Pero si te enseñan, ahora sí, papacito, siéntate aquí.
Yeah. I think what I would want as a takeaway from our Girl Talk today, is that really, like Vero said, you have to value yourself. And I think what the most important thing is even though we're all independent businesswomen, it doesn't mean that we're not vulnerable and we don't want to be taken care of. And I don't want that fallacy out there that strong women, we're strong because we have to be, because we don't have a choice.
We're forced in that position.
We rose to the occasion because we
remember when I said you were forced to be in the masculine?
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that we want to be in our masculine 100% of the time. It doesn't mean we want to dominate, or it just means that when we were in a position where we had to make a decision and we rose to the occasion. But do we want to be taken care of? Sure. I'm not talking about like material things. Like I'm talking about like emotionally,
Yeah.
spiritually.
Definitely.
We want to be babied. We want to be taken care of. And so if my biggest takeaway is strong, independent women, we can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
100%.
I love it. I love it. We can be vulnerable with the
Yeah.
right person.
With the right person.
I think we are vulnerable, period.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that we just have to be with people that are able to complement the position that we're in
And that's
and allow us to complement them as well.
But then you need a real man in your life.
That's the struggle.
That's right.
That's the struggle.
We need a real man.
Yeah.
No hombrecillo, ni nobody up and coming. No, real man.
I know, you're right. But
Not the tit for tat.
No.
The competition.
No.
The I did
secure
this
man,
better.
secure.
Right.
Yeah.
One of you guys said earlier, the one that shows you, not the one.
Right. Someone
Pura
that can say,
plática, no, show
honey,
me.
how are you? How was your day? And truly understand and try to
Yeah.
understand.
I'm going to say something really fast because this is taking too long. But honestly, you say something about there's so many men out there. They're so competitive with their significant other because they're insecure, right?
And it's unnecessary.
And to me, that's a turn off.
Compliment each other.
You know, a
100%
man que
turn off.
siempre quiere estar compitiendo conmigo is like,
I'm not competing with you.
We're supposed to be a team.
Yeah.
You know,
Side by side.
lo voy a cortar esto porque yo creo que va a merecer otro
Part
podcast.
2.
Yeah.
Part
Yeah.
two, to be honest with you.
Stay tuned.
But honestly, guys, I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you.
Honestly, taking the time to be here right now with me because that's what you know, las amigas, because this is more like personal, to be honest. Like, I feel like this moment is more like the moment that I have in my living room, I promise, with my girlfriends, and this is our talks, this is our conversations, and I appreciate you, and I love you, and I admire you, because we all bring different things to the table, yet at the same time, we're powerful in diferentes maneras, but we all have our own struggles.
Yeah.
You know, so es la cosa preciosa de este momento. Y más que nada estar bendecida con el momento de estar con tus mejores amigas. Y hace falta personas aquí en este momento, pero ahorita esto es como, ¿cómo se llama? Es lo que hay.
Es lo que hay.
Es lo que hay.
Es lo que hay, güey.
Es lo que hay, güey. Entonces, al 1000,
Arriba.
la verdad, pero me encanta.
Pues,
Y thank you, girls. De verdad, gracias por este momento. Gracias por permitirme compartir simple y sencillamente lo que somos. You know, and de verdad, creo que es como más como home.
Yeah.
Como la casa.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you, and I appreciate you, and I love you, and I want to give you guys a hug. So let's all hug.
Well,